Today here at Fixed, I'm going to be showing you how we replace the back glass. This is the iPhone 8. As you can see, it's fairly cracked here. One of the things you want to do is remove all the insides, everything that could potentially melt. I'm not going to show how to do that. There's plenty of videos on that. Here's the new back glass. No logo, of course, with just the lens up at the top. This is what it's going to look like when we're done. Let's get started. Alright, so here's some of the tools you're going to need. Basically some thin pry tools, ranging from everything from a razor blade to a flat-headed tool. Also you'll want this machine in particular, I enjoy. You can do the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, iPhone X, basically anything with a back glass, XR and so on. You also want a pair of gloves because this is very hot, you don't want to burn yourself. The last thing is this plastic frame that helps us get as you'll see, helps us push down and push the glass up. So I've got this set up to a fairly high temperature. It's 250 degrees Celsius. I'll go ahead and push down, and as it warms up, the glass will start to lift. And then we can start to pry on it. There in the center you may see there's a little basically a plunger that punches up through the glass as you push down, and you'll be able to carefully remove the pieces of glass. This is a little bit of a tedious process. You got to be careful not to burn yourself or to have glass just fly everywhere. It is easiest to use the plastic, otherwise it moves around and it gives you a chance to use the other opportunity to hold on to the frame without burning yourself because it's fairly hot. Anyway, just carefully moving around the side with whatever tool works for you. The razor blade tends to work for me around the edges when there are small cracks and things like that, whereas some of the other tools are more suitable when there are bigger shards and things like that. So just take your time in removing everything. The portions of the phone that we're saving can withstand quite a bit of heat and temperature, so leaving it on here is not a big concern. And by leaving it on there and making sure that adhesive is nice and soft, you won't damage the internal frame there, giving yourself a perfectly flat surface to adhere the new glass to. So here I'll carefully scrape at all of the glass shards that are there and remove the bulk of the adhesive that's there as well with another razor blade. And we'll go ahead and see if we can pry off this top piece. Now the lens is kind of stuck in there, so you have to pivot the glass around, then it should come out fairly easily. Alright, looks like we've got all the glass off. Time to clean up and move away all the glass shards. And then we're going to go back over with basically a fine pick, and we're going to go over every single inch of the inside and make sure there's no high spots of adhesive or little glass pieces. Get rid of all of them so that we can adhere it without any pressure points or any issues like that. So just being gentle with the razor blade as to not damage the little bezel that runs around the border. Alright, after working in the little lens up there, got a little pivot. So what I'm going to do is take this. This is some glue that I have. I think it's E8000. And I'm just going to follow more or less the design that Apple already had with their adhesive that they laid out. I figure if they do it that way, I might as well. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So go ahead and follow it, maybe add a little bit more here and there, maybe a little bit more than they did. I can always do this again if I need to. We'll go up the side and down the side over here. We'll fill in a little bit there, and that'll allow that to smear up and go around the top of the lens there. Next thing we're going to do is just clean up the edges after putting the cap back on. Remove any of the squeeze out adhesive using some acetone and some clean room wipes. Next thing I'm going to do is take some clean room wipes and fold them up and clamp them down using these little clamps. These are fairly strong clamps. If you ever pinched your finger in one, you'll know what I mean. And On each corner, we'll just go ahead and make sure it sits in there nice and flat. Put one of these on to protect the glass and the frame. We'll go ahead and pitch it down and let it cure. And give it a little bit of a clean on the edge. Give it some time to set up. Alright, here's the old glass and here's the new one. Looks nice and pretty once again. This customer will be happy. Now they'll have a phone that isn't so prone to the elements or exposed. And once again, here it is. Thanks for watching, you guys.